Hello, second grade. It's Miss Batista here with another amazing math video. And as you can see by the title of our presentation, today you are all going to become pros at solving two-step word problems. Yep, you heard me. Let's go. All right. Yesterday, you all had the opportunity to watch the measurement song. And in this measurement song, they talk all about inches, feet, and yards. And along with this video, you had two questions that you needed to answer. The first question was, how many inches in a foot? The second question was, if there are 12 inches in a foot and there are 3 feet in a yard, how many inches are there in a yard? Now, since you already solved, Miss Batista is going to solve it. All I want you to do is just double check your work. Here we go.
Alright, y'all. As mentioned before, all you are doing now is double checking your work. But Miss Batista is going to reread the problems again so then she can just go straight into the answer. Alright, so for the first problem, what I am going to do is I'm going to read the problem first. So how many inches in a foot? And what I did for this problem is I went directly into the video. And in the video, it says that 12 inches equals 1 foot. So all I did for this one was I wrote a statement. There are 12 inches in a foot. And that's my answer. Alright, now for the second one, it took a little longer for Miss Batista to find the answer because this one required a little bit of mental math. So again, the first thing we want to do is I am going to read the problem. If there are 12 inches, I'm going to underline important information as I go. Alright? If there are 12 inches in a foot and there are 3 feet in a yard, how many inches are there in a yard? Well, again, I went back into the video and just listened to the song all over again. In the video, they mentioned that there's 3 feet in a yard. And by the answer that we just gave on the first one, if 1 foot is 12 inches, all I need to do down here is add 12 plus 12 plus 12 to find my answer. Again, so what I did was I went back into the video and I remembered that they said, or better yet, as I went back into the video and heard the song again, I heard them say that there is 3 feet in a yard. And so because of that, I went ahead and said, okay, if 12 inches equals 1 foot, then I'm going to go ahead and add 12 plus 12 plus 12 because there's 3 feet. All right, so to make it easier on myself, I said, okay, let me add 12 plus 12 is 24 plus 12 more. If I continue, if I break this 12 into a 10 and I add it to my 24, this 24 becomes 34 plus 2. That gives me 35, 36. So there is 36 inches. Because remember, they asked how many inches are there in a yard. Okay? So there are 36 inches in a yard. But wait, I'm not done yet. I need to make sure that I write my statement. So I'm going to say again, there are 36 inches in a yard. And that's basically all I did for this problem. So if you didn't get these same answers, that's okay. By the end of this, you will be able to do that. You're going to be a pro at it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Now that we got the opportunity to do our do now, let's go over our objective for this lesson. Our objective for this lesson is I can solve two-digit addition and subtraction word problems involving length by using tape diagrams and writing equations to represent the problem. One more time. I can solve two-digit addition and subtraction word problems involving length by using tape diagrams and writing equations to represent the problems. But wait, even before we continue, let's talk about what length means. So length is the distance between one endpoint to the next endpoint. An endpoint, as you remember, or some of us may recall, are where we start measuring and where we end measuring. So basically, length is just the distance between the starting point and our endpoint. Now that we know that important information, let's go to the word problems. All right, y'all. This is the part that I consider the most fun out of all of it, is getting to show my work and shine like a superstar. All right. But before Miss Batista starts modeling the problems for you as I'm doing the work, all I want you to do is just sit back and pay attention to the steps Miss Batista is taking in order to solve her problems. Another note I want to make before I start is Miss Batista is going to read the word problem once. And then as she models, she's going to read it 2 times. Okay? Here we go. Mr. Ramos has knitted 19 inches of a scarf he wants to be 1 yard long. How many more inches of scarf does he need to knit? Let's go ahead and solve.
All right, second grade. Miss Batiste already read the problem once, so she's gonna go ahead and read it 2 more times to make it a total of 3 readings, okay? And on that last time, she's going to go ahead and annotate, meaning that she's gonna circle, underline, or square any important information that she may need in order to answer her question. So the first step we want to take is to annotate our question. We want to annotate our question. All right, and so Mr. Ramos has knitted 19 inches of scarf. He wants to be 1 yard long. How many more inches of scarf does he need to knit? Right, here we go. This is my last time reading it. Mr. Ramos has knitted 19 inches of a scarf he wants to be 1 yard long. How many more inches of scarf does he need to knit? So I'm going to go ahead and square my question, because without it we don't know what it's asking us. Okay, so Miss Batista just annotated. Now what I am going to do, or from what I'm seeing from the question, is I'm going to go ahead and show my work. But how can I do that? Oh, I know, using a tape diagram, because with the tape diagram I can show how much he has now and how much he needs. Okay, so first thing, I'm gonna go ahead and draw my tape diagram. And we know he has 19 already made. And he wants to make a yard. Well, as I recall, a yard has 3 feet in it. And based on our do now, we figured out that 1 yard equals 36 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that second half of my tape diagram with the 36. So right now we're understanding that we're getting the 19 from how much he has already made of the scarf. Whereas the second part of the tape diagram is how much he wants to end up with. But we're missing something for this tape diagram. We're missing something very important. And it's, let's use our question to see if we can figure out what it is that we're missing. How many more inches of scarf does he need to knit? Well, if we're looking at this part right here, this is our unknown. So this, we're trying to figure out how much we need to add to the 19 to get it to 36. All right, well, now my second step would be to come up with a number sentence. So what would my number sentence be? Would it be addition or subtraction? Again, let me read my question again to help me figure that out. How many more inches of scarf does he need to knit? Well, let's do this. I'm gonna circle the words many more because that is telling me to subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract what I already know. So I know that he wants to end with 36. So I'm gonna plug that number in here. And then he already made 19. So that's 19 inches that we have to subtract from 36 because he already made those 19 inches worth of scarf. How can I make this easier on myself? Oh, okay. I can possibly put this in vertical form. I can say, okay, 36. Sorry, second grade. Miss Batista messed up right there. 36 minus 19. Well, I can't take 9 from 6, so I know that I have to borrow from my tens place. So my 3 becomes 2 tens, and my 6 becomes 16 ones because I gave a 10 to my ones place. So now I can subtract 16. I can subtract 9 from 16. Okay, so let's go over this. So if I count backwards, starting at 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We know that 9 minus 16 is 7. And if we take 1 10 from 2 tens, that becomes a 1. So my final answer is 17. Okay, but I'm not done yet. Did I answer my question? Well, yeah, because it's telling me, it's asking me how many more inches of scarf does he need to knit? Well, he needs to knit 17 more inches in order to get to 36. But I'm still missing something. What am I missing? Oh, I need to write down my sentence. Because without the sentence or the statement, we haven't answered the question completely. So let's go ahead and write down our statement. Our statement is going to say, Mr. Ramos needs 17 inches more to get to 1 yard. Okay, now let me just double check. I annotated, so step 1, I annotated, check. Step 2, I came up with my number sentence, check. Step 3, I showed all my work and came up with a statement. So again, step 1 is annotate your question. 2, come up with a number sentence to go along with your word problem. And 3, show all your work and write down a statement or a sentence when you are done. All right, y'all. Now we're moving on to the next question. Let's see how hard this one's going to be.
Whew. Problem 1 was easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Bring it on, problem number 2. All right, problem number 2 goes as follows. Frankie has a 64-inch piece of rope and another piece that is 18 inches shorter than the first. What is the total length of both ropes? Huh, you're not gonna trick me. I got this. Let's go solve it, y'all.
Okay, y'all. It's basically the same thing as before, except that this time we have 2 number sentences instead of 1. Let's go ahead and solve. But first, remember, step 1 is to annotate your question. So I'm going to read it 2 times, and then on the second time, I'm going to go ahead and annotate. Here we go. Frankie has a 64-inch piece of rope and another piece that is 18 inches shorter than the first. What is the total length of both ropes? Okay, so this is the time where I am going to annotate. Okay, Frankie has a 64-inch piece of rope and another piece that is 18 inches shorter than the first. In our first rope, it says here that it's 64 inches. What is the total length of both ropes? Well, all right, so step 1, complete. Now, just like I did on my last problem, and again, the best way to do that is to go ahead and draw your tape diagram. Let's write in the tape diagram what we know and what we need to know. So our longer piece is 64, whereas our shorter piece, well, we technically don't know how long the shorter piece is. It just says, and another piece that is 18 inches shorter than the first one. So we know that this is 18. Well, that leads us to our first number sentence. We technically can't say what the total length of the ropes are if we don't know how long this rope is. Here we go. So the first step we want to take is go ahead and basically subtract 64 minus 18 to figure out how long this rope is. Okay. Now, what's one way I can solve? Oh, I know the same way I did before. 64, writing it in vertical form, 64 minus 18. I can't take 8 ones from 4 ones, so I'm going to go ahead and borrow from my 10s. And if I borrow a 10 from my 6, that 6 becomes a 5. So then I have 5 10s left. And because I gave 10 ones to the ones place, this 4 becomes a 14. So now I can take 8 from 14. And 8 minus 14 is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So 14 minus 8 is 6. Now 5 minus 1, well, 5 minus 1 is 4. I'm going to go ahead and write that down as well. Okay, look at us. We found the missing piece. So we figured out that the shorter rope is 46 inches long. Now we can actually answer our question. which is, what is the total of both ropes? If it's asking me for the total, that's telling me to add. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that 64 plus 46 gives me, let me put it in vertical form as well. So then that way, I'm double checking my work as well. 64 plus 46. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry that one over. 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 1 more is 11. But remember, we have to carry it over because there's not enough space. And then so that one becomes a 100. So then my total is 110. But I'm missing something. I'm still missing something. What am I missing? I annotated my question. Check. I came up with number sentences to go along with my word problem. Check. What am I missing? I mean, I showed all my work. Oh, I remember. I need to write down my statement. And my statement is going to say the total length of both ropes is 110. Okay, so one more time. Let's go over the steps. Step 1, I annotated my question. Step 2, came up with number sentences to go along with my question. And step 3, I showed all my work and wrote down a statement. Here we go, number 3.
Okay, y'all, I'm not even going to act like I'm tough, but number 2 almost got me. But you know what? I followed my steps and I got through it. Now, problem 3. Let's see what you got. All right, problem 3 says the total length of all three sides of a triangle is 96 feet. The triangle has two sides that are the same length. One of the equal sides measures 40 feet. What is the length of the side that is not equal? Let's solve it. I got this.
All right, y'all. Last but not least, number 3. Miss Batista's winning so far. These problems haven't gotten to me. No, no, no. All right. Now I have to solve problem 3. Remember, I'm going to read it twice because I already read it. Okay, so I'm going to read it 2 more times. And on the last time, I'm going to go ahead and circle, underline, or square any important information. Here we go. The total length of all three sides of a triangle is 96 feet. The triangle has two sides that are the same length. One of the equal sides measures 40 feet. What is the length of the side that is not equal? Let's read it one more time. The total length of all three sides of a triangle is 96 feet. The triangle has two sides that are the same length. One of the equal sides measures 40 feet. What is the length of the side that is not equal? Okay, very intense. How can I show my work here? I mean, for this one, I can't use a tape diagram because it's not a triangle. So I feel like if I draw a triangle, it will be a lot better to solve. So let me see if I can figure out a triangle with equal sides. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like it's equal. So let's cross that out. Let me try this one. Okay, I think I got it. So both sides seem to be equal. Remember, second grade, Miss Batista is not a great drawer, but the sides are equal. They seem equal. Okay, so both sides are equal and it's a triangle. So now let's plug in what we already know. So it's telling us that the whole triangle is 96 feet. So this big triangle is 96 feet. Okay, so the triangle has two sides that are the same length, meaning these two sides are the same length. One of the equal sides measures 40 feet. So that means that one side is 40 feet. But if they're equal, that means they're the same length. So then that means that if this side is 40, then this side is 40 as well. Okay, we're getting the hang of this. Now, one of the equal sides measures 40 feet. We did that. What is the length of the side that is not equal? So this is the only side that we don't know how much it's worth or what the length of it is. How can I solve this problem? Guys, I figured it out. We are doing the same steps from problem 2, but backwards. Say, whoa, whoa, my mind is blown. Okay, so instead of subtracting, I think my first number sentence has to be addition. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that plus equals Okay, so the only numbers that I know are my two equal sides, and they're both equal 40. And that's telling me what two parts of the triangle are, how long these two parts of the triangles are. So 40 plus 40, if I start at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay. I figured out what these two are together, but I still haven't figured out what is the length of the side that is not equal. So that means I need another number sentence. So I'm gonna go ahead and my number sentence, because I'm trying to figure out how much this is to get it to 96. Let me see. So my whole triangle is where it's the height or the length of it is 96. Whereas the length of both equal sides combined is 80. Well, I know how tall the triangle is. I know how tall it is. I know the equal sides of it. So in order to find this, I'm starting to see that I need to subtract 96 from 80 or 80 from 96. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. 96 minus 80. Well, 0 is worth nothing. So if I take 0 once from 6, the 6 remains the same because I'm not taking anything away. But if I take 8 from 9, 9 minus 8 is 1. So this right here is 16. All right, so far I've annotated my question. I came up with my number sentences. I'm missing something because I have the answer here, but I haven't answered it fully. My statement. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that the statement is the length of the side that is not equal is 16 feet. Remember, always label. Okay, so really quickly. So all three problems, I annotated my question. So step one was to always annotate my question. Step two was to come up with number sentences that went along with my word problems. And step three was to show my work and write down a statement. So all three problems have the same three steps? Well, yeah, because in problem one, I annotated, I wrote a number sentence, and I showed my work and wrote down a statement. And I did the same for 2 and 3. All right, y'all. So now for sure. My three major steps are annotate my question, step 1. Step 2, write number sentence or sentences that go along with my word problem. Step 3, go ahead and show all your work and write down your statement. All right, second grade. I think it's your...
Whew, Miss Batista's brain has grown some very strong muscles. Now, second grade, is your turn to solve some similar problems. And I'm not worried because I know you all got this because you all paid attention and you all told Miss Batista the steps to solve each problem along the way. So I know you got this. Bye, second grade.